Earned her degree at the Juilliard in 2000 and has danced her way across the Eastern Seaboard and beyond since then. She's taken a brief trip out of those travels to take us all on a brief road trip of creativity herself. Please welcome Nicole Corea.
Hi, welcome back. So I'm here with some really bad news. I know nothing about life. Like absolutely nothing. I have no idea how it works. But in my life, I've found these really interesting discoveries, right? And one of them being that life is this giant improvisation. No rhyme or reason, right? It just kind of happens and flows. And here we are, right? Well, example, right? A road trip. Right? So everything always starts out very smoothly on a road trip, and then something always happens. There's traffic, a detour, right? Or maybe we get lost. And what do? We fight it, right? Tooth and nail, we just fight it. It's like, check them out, honey. There's gotta be another way, right? Or we go to the guy who's directing the traffic, we roll down the window, and we're like, so, what's going on up there, right? Like he has some secret passageway for us, you know, like he's gonna be we're the chosen ones, right? Please, step this way, in front of everyone else, right? So, and it's an interesting thing, right, that why don't we just take this moment to learn that this could be a great improvisation for us. This could be a great moment to tap into our creativity. We don't have to freak out when we're in the face of a detour, right? Well, it's a learned behavior. So, through dance, I'm a dancer, and through dance I've learned that we have all these different languages in the arts, right? We have body language. I'm the master. And so, you know, we translate this into dance, right? But we all have these learned behaviors, right? We understand each other through body language. That when we're mad, you know, when we're sad, we have all of these different things, and then we just exaggerate it through dance, and we make a work of art, right? But we all have these things through our thoughts, right? We write the story of our own life through our thoughts. And most of the time we think we're writing this bestseller, right? And we also have perspective, right? The visual arts, they show us how we see the world, right? And every one of us sees it in a different way based on our own experience, right? We also have our vibration, the sound that we make, the music that we make as we walk through life. And we vibrate this to other people. We have some kind of resonance that we share with other people. The funny thing is that as a performer, I see everything as a show, right? So what we do is we add all of these languages to our repertoire, and we step out the door every day, and we put on a show, right? We all do it. And it's such a funny thing. It started from the time we're young, right? We get to school, and they tell us, memorize the who, the what, the when, and the where. And if you do this and you can pass this test, then you are smart, right? And you will be successful, right? So we adopt these formulas for success. We think that this shows us how to have a place in the world and a sense of self. But where is the room for the how and the why? Where is the room for the improvisation, for the dance? So how do we do this? How do we adapt this into our lives if we feel like we've lost it? Right? So my approach when I'm dancing and when I'm improvising is that I have to make myself completely vulnerable, right? So we have to walk the tightrope of vulnerability, right? And on one side we see failure, and on the other side we see success. So don't look down. And start at the beginning with an intention. I will live a creative life. And just having the intention will take you there, right? So we walk, we look forward, we're looking for that door of hope, right? We see it at the end of the tunnel, right? And just start walking, and usually everything's fine, right? wow, it's pretty easy, we're on balance, and all of a sudden, boom, right? And we kind of hit this tunnel of aggravation, we hit this detour. But we can't freak out, right? We just have to keep going. Keep the intention. And we can also use these languages that we've investigated, this body language, perception, our thoughts, right? Our vibration, we can use these things to help us in this time that we feel like we're going to fail. And then, once we get back on track, and once we get back on balance, we put it into action, right? Use what you've learned and put it into action to get the rest of the way, to get to that door of hope. And to open yourself to this freedom, right? This is, as artists, what we're trying to do is we're trying to share with you, right? We want you to come with us. It's not that we just want you to buy tickets to our shows so that we can get paid, right? It's much deeper than that. We want you to live this creative life with us because we're born with it. It's in our blood, right? It's in our history. And we're creative beings. We were created, right? I don't need to tell that story. And it's an innate part of ourselves. So go with it, be free, right? And this resonates. This has a huge resonance. You know, if we do this, it has a ripple effect. It starts with us. And you never know who you're going to affect. Right? You never know who you're going to touch just by being free. And we live in a time where so many people in the world are not free, right? So if we have the opportunity, create the ripple. And now, you're probably wondering why I'm barefooted. The poor dancer can't afford shoes. I wish you give money to the army. So, I'm going to improvise for you, right? And this is going to be a completely vulnerable thing for me, right? Because I want to show you that it's possible, right? I could fail horribly, right? Anything could happen. I could just lose my train of thought. I could lose my perspective. But I'm going to try to keep my intention throughout, right? And I saw this quote, actually my friend gave it to me for my birthday, and it says that just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly, right? So my intention is that I'm going to try to catch a butterfly. I don't know, I might catch it, who knows. But it's just my intention, right? And it's going to carry me through to create this dance for you. You're the first to see it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for having me.